or mid '90s. I got a Mercury 4-door, and I went around asking people, asking like Paul Bragg and Dean Bryan and a few of those guys to see what they would cost to have me to chop a car for me, because I didn't know. I just wanted it chopped because I thought it would look badass. So when they gave me the price and they shot me how long it was going to take and all that, I'm like, wow, man, I guess I'd have to say I'm a poor Mexican. And I was kind of bummed out because, all my friends were into lowriders and they wanted me to just skirt it and visor it. I go, man, I don't want to do that. I want to chop. Because, Paso, my early days, I grew up, I graduated in 1981, and I used to see these cars go by on the freeway all the time going to Paso. So one day I went over there, I was probably maybe 4 years after I graduated from high school. I started seeing all these beautiful cars, and that's what really got me going. So to make a long story short, sorry that I'm kind of long on.
No, please, no. This is great. I love this.
Okay, because what ended up happening on my Mercury is I was bummed out because I couldn't chop it. No, I couldn't afford to have it done. So I was bummed out, like I said, and then I went to sleep one night, and then I woke up like about 1 in the morning, and a voice kind of said in my head, said, if you chop it, if you ruin it, you could weld it back together. And I said, and it like sparked a fire. I like, you're right. If I screw it up, I'll just weld it all back together. Like it never happened because, I knew I was into collision and stuff. So I chopped my Mercury and I never looked back. And ever since then, I've just been, like I said, the chopping fool, man. I just started chopping. I'm just very passionate about what I do pretty much when it comes to chopping. So I try to be innovative. I try to be, how would I say? I am an old-fashioned chopper. I don't do all the English wheel stuff and all that other stuff because, to me, the tops are there. The shapes are there. Just repositioning them and reworking it. And to me, it's just, and then I like to get them done fast. It takes a long time to do all that kind of stuff.
I did notice that. I'm not to interrupt you, but I did notice that your work was just phenomenally on point, and it was very quickly. And I just wondered, and I'm like, even myself, like I said, I've never met you in person, and I've only had one conversation with you before this interview, and it's just amazing how you can just get it done so quickly, and just the whole math as far as you knowing which part of the crown and which part of the curves, and so it's just great. It's phenomenal. So that's great. What made you get into the whole Art Deco look of the cars, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, I just love Art Deco. Just the lines and the way it's done. I don't know, something about it. I just like it. And then when I did my 40 DeSoto, there was pretty much everything that I've ever done in cars. I put it all into one. And it was a DeSoto. I wanted a 40 Merc. I couldn't afford it. Bought the DeSoto for $1,000, and then I just transformed it to where it's at. And as far as the Art Deco, I just liked all the lines and all just the shape of Art Deco, and pretty much ever since then, I don't know, it's just a super clean look to me.
Oh, I think I'm a big fan of it. If I could afford it, like if I could afford something like the way that you do it, I would totally be on board, So for me, I just stuck with hot rods. I thought it was more affordable for me, but even that is just shit's getting overpriced, and
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah. It is getting up there. I mean, I'll put it this way: I juggled. I want another hot rod, but at the same time, I got a custom, and I'm thinking, man, I mean, hot rods are expensive. Shoot, a Model A, you could get them for like $500-600, like 10 years ago. Now here they are. They're for like 1,500. I mean, 15 grand and 4,000, 6,000,
oh
eight
yeah.
thousand. I'm like, man, it's too much.
Yeah, it's not becoming it's no longer a hobby anymore, and I think it's just it's a wealthier man's game, game now, and it's weird. I've seen it myself, and uh, I'm just taken by it. I'm definitely taken
Yeah,
by it.
yeah. I've built a couple of hot rods myself, and yeah, they're cool. But you know what? Like I said, custom to me is more my roots because of the fact that I could really kind of like outdo myself with a car with a custom more than a hot rod. Yeah, you could do a lot of stuff to the hot rods. I've made some pretty wicked chopped hot rods and stuff, but you could only go so far. And then if you don't have the right stuff, the flathead and all that, everybody just doesn't even look at it. It's like, really, man, why do I even do this shit for? Because you know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I mean, yeah, you got to put a flathead. Yeah, you got to do this. Yeah, you got to do that. I go, well, and then it comes back to, well, I don't want to do what everybody's doing, so I go right back to custom and just do what I do. You know what I mean?
Oh
That's
yeah,
that's where it's.
I love it. I love it, man. Like I said, I'm not like I told you earlier on the phone, I'm what you would call like, I'm not jocking you or whatever, but I got to show you the respect where it's deserved, and your work has proven that it's beautiful, gorgeous work, and it's amazing. It's amazing your work. And I remember when I had first messaged you, and I had on Instagram, you kind of put me in my place. I remember you told me you're like, I think I had called you an artist or something like that, or uh,
Oh yeah.
yeah, and you're like, nah, and I was just like, okay.
No, I don't like to be called. Let me explain myself on that. I don't like to be called an artist because I've seen a lot of guys that say they're artists and they're this and they're that, and it's like, come on, dude, really? I mean, to me, it's just about the cars. It's always about the cars. I mean, I'll like I told you, I rather call myself a restylist than an artist because I'm not an artist. I just work on cars and I try to make them look as bad as I can to the best of my ability, even if it's not even my car.
Hell
Most of
yeah.
the time, when I build a car for somebody, I'm building it for myself. I'll say, okay, what do you think you should do to this car? And yeah, you could cut corners. Yeah, you could do whatever it is, but I tell myself, well, fuck, I want it to be badass. That's it. Okay, then there it is. Let's do this. Let's make this car like if it was my own. Let's make it.
Nice.
That's when I started coming up with like I got away from all kinds of. I got away from the '50s cars. I had my Al Camino. I had my little Nash. There were badass, but when it came down to the 40 style, the 30 style cars, it's like, man, it was a whole different scene for me. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of guys out there, the like I said, traditional customs and all that. See, I'm not about traditional customs. I'm about me being in that era. And if I was alive then, this is what I would be doing. I would be doing my style the way I'm doing it. So that's what, and I really like the styling of Harry Westergaard, and and so I just kind of like seeing what he was doing, the clean looks of the cars, and then kind of flipped it, and now that's why I call it Chicano Westergaard because it's what I would have done, but giving him the respect that he deserved and the honor that he has,
That's
because
great.
nobody really says anything about Harry, and I've done a little research on him, and his life wasn't all that great. His life was he had a pretty rough life, and he died in an automobile accident. You know, from that lifestyle that he had. So I figured, you know what, my life was pretty rough, and at least if I could give him a little credit with, because you know he's the inspiration behind the Chicano Westergaard, you know, and that's it. Period. I mean,
Okay.
I give it to him.
Okay. Awesome,
as far
man.
as that goes. But you know, like I said, you know, the Chicano twist.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not.
I get it, man. I get it. I get it. Enough said, man. I've got another question from another Instagrammer, and the other Instagrammer he wanted to know what was the most hardest chop that you ever had to do in your whole life, as far as at a chopping all the cars that you've done. What was the most difficult chop that you had to do?
I'd have to say the 36 Buick, because it was a wood car. I had to figure out how to chop it and fix the wood at the same time. The wood had to be chopped first, and then the body over, because it was, like I said, it was wood framed. And it really kind of restricted me, because I really wanted to go more and do more to it, but it was a big challenge, only because the car itself, it wasn't lined up right. I mean, the gaps were real bad. Just the whole part of it, the wood from the craftsmanship. I mean, the craftsmanship was there, but I couldn't see how the gaps could be fixed, other than they were like that factory. So that was probably the hardest car that I've ever chopped. Was a wood car with a wood frame, because it was pretty much an original car.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome, man. I got another question here for you, and kind of going through them pretty quickly. I mean, if Joe Schmo wanted to go get a hold of you, and he called the number on your Instagram, and he said, "How you doing? I'm Joe Schmo, and I would like to get a car chopped. Let's just say a 1936 Ford, and I want to get it chopped." How long is it usually the process, and more or less, what does something like that cost out the door?
Well, it's funny that you said that. I just did one a few months back. It was a 35 3-window, and it took me a month from start to finish, from cutting it, from chopping it, to doing the body work, to putting it, to painting it, and to putting all the glass together. It took me about a month, and I charged them $5,000.
Wow, that's not bad.
And it was a pretty innovative chop, because if you look, I was getting a lot of people telling me that I just throw a lot of Bondo on my car. So when I chopped this car, I left it all painted. It was a nice painted red. If you look on my Instagram, you'll see it. You'll see that there's only 3 cuts in the whole top, and I chopped it 4 inches. And you'll see all the work that I did to it, and you'll see how straight it came out. And I even see now people even copying what I did. See, I never let out my secrets, but that time I did, and now I see why I haven't let out too much of my secrets. But it
was something he had to prove, I get it.
Well, yeah. Well, there's a lot of people out there that, want to bash your word, because I don't know why, for instance, I mean, I know I'm fast because that's just how I am. I'm fast. That's how you make money. If I'm going to take a year on a chop, and I'm only going to charge the guy $5,000, how much money did I make? I didn't make shit. But then there's also, I've seen guys that have had $15,000 in a chop, no body work, all metal, thrashed. I mean, literally thrashed work. And I've heard of horror stories about all this stuff. So to me, fast and I have to do it right, and it has to be economical because, hey, not every. I'm still going back to where I was at when I was started. I knew I couldn't afford it, so you got to spread the wealth a little, I guess.
I like that. Yeah, no, I really like that. I get these people all the time, and I hear all these horror stories of, this and that, and my car's been held captive for, 2 years, 3 years and stuff, and I actually like that. I want to get it done, I want to get it paid, and on to the next one, and that makes money.
Well,
Yeah, yeah.
That's what makes it more passionate. I'm more passionate about getting it out there than thinking, oh well, I could roll this sail panel, and oh yeah, you got 20 hours, 30 hours in a sail panel, and it's like, really? I mean, I've literally watched people do stuff, and I look at dates, and man, it takes a long time to do that kind of stuff. So if they want to call me a hack, it's okay. I don't care. Like I told you, I lost my shop, and in 5 years that I had my shop, I told you I chopped 45 cars.
Wow.
In those 5 years, so I know what it takes. If people want to say, "Oh, I'm a hack" or whatever, it's okay. But you know what? At least those rides are out there on the street cruising.
Yeah, and people are enjoying it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I see it like this. If the customer's happy, that's all that really matters at the end of the day. I could really care less about what anybody on the internet says, because I've learned that there's a lot of internet gangsters. There's a lot of people that talk. They'll bash. But when push comes to shove, it's just like, you're just talking shit over the internet,
Yeah, I've had that happen to me a lot too. But what I do is I turn that negative energy into positive energy, and I just haul ass even faster. Some couple of guys were talking shit one time, and they were telling me, "Oh yeah, he's an old guy, he's washed up." I go, "Really? I chopped four cars in 1 month just to prove a point." Boom, boom, boom. They never said that ever again.
Wow.
When they start pissing me off, man, if I get mad, I get working even more. I mean, I haul ass, and like I said, it's kind of like it just gives me adrenaline rush when people want to say these kinds of things without even actually, backing their play. I'll straight up back up my play for everything that I've done. That's why I try to get them done, try to make them look as cool as I can, and get them done as fast as I can. So that way, if anybody has anything to say, damn, dude, it's still badass,
Oh, I love it, man. I love it. I really do. I love it. I love your work. I'm a fan. And I think that you got a nice fan base out there where people like, I mean, I'm glad that you put the pictures up. I'm glad so that people can see that there's people out there, people look at and they kind of cringe at, like, my kind of work, as far as like, I mean, I don't have a fancy English will myself. I don't, I'm pretty primitive as far as the way I work and stuff, but what I push out is what matters. The finished product is what matters for me, and I'm a fan.
That's all that really counts.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a fan. I got another question. What's that?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I said thank you.
Oh yeah, man. I'm a fan, dude. I got another question for you, as far as this is from another person. What inspired you to do the Nash? And this is from a female follower on Instagram, and it was a Nash, right? The small little one.
Yeah, my little Nash Rambler is 53.
Yeah. What inspired you to do that? She really liked it, and then when I started looking into it, I was like, man, that is really the way that you did it. I mean, what made you just do that?
Well, to make a long story short, I bought it for my daughter, for $1,000, and it was all completely stock, and it was in a wrecking yard, but it just didn't have a motor, but it was super clean. Well, when I brought it home, she goes, I don't want that car. It looks like a pickle. And I'm like, fuck. Excuse my French. So then, I tried to sell it, tried to get it. Nobody wanted to buy it. $1,000, yeah, but nobody would buy it. So one day I was like, it was on a Saturday, and I looked at it, and I pulled it. I told myself, okay, I'm going to pull this glass out, and I'm going to cut 5 inches off this glass. If I break this glass, I'm throwing this car away. So here I go. I took the glass out, started cutting it, and all of a sudden, I had the 5-inch mark. I made it, and I went, oh shit! I made the 5-inch mark. So I look at the car. Okay, it's time to cut it. So I took 5 inches out of that car. It was like a 5.6, 5.7 chop.
Wow.
And then I chopped it, and then I flaked it out on the top, and it just sat for a while. Sat for a long time. Because I was doing other things. And then I ended up picking up. Then I went through a couple of hot rods. I built a hot rod, my Plymouth, and then I had a little Model A Roadster hot rod, and then after I started thinking, what am I doing with hot rods, man? I can't do anything. I'm done. So I sold my 31 Model A Roadster, and I bought a 37 Chevy. I go, man, let's make this thing a custom. And I say, you know what, you're right. And so what I did, I ended up trading the hot rod for the 37. So then I told myself, well, you need to finish the Nash before you start working on that 37. So I said, okay. So then I just started hitting it. And then I got a Kaiser fish mouth grill for it. And, the rest is history. That's what it came down to. I finished it. Never even got an award for that car. That car was so out of the box, never even got an award. To be honest with you, I built that car for the West Coast Customs Cruising Nationals, and they didn't even look at it.
Wow.
Bad. Yeah, it was crazy because it looked like a shoebox. It looked like a Chevy. It looked like everything rolled up into one, and I thought, for sure, custom car, right?
Yeah.
Cool, badass. Nope.
Well, after looking at it, man, I thought, man, that thing was pretty wicked. Like it was pretty wicked. It was different.
Yeah.
And that's sometimes, and I think that has a lot to do with a lot of things. Like people don't really, I guess people are just always looking at the same thing. Like, and I don't think they don't realize that when you're thinking outside the box with something like that. It's like, I mean, shit, man, it's pretty badass. I mean, that's what custom car building was, thinking outside the box, in my opinion, anyways. And
yeah, it is. But like I said, people fall under the traditional customs, and they want what everybody else had back then, rather than doing their own thing. See, and I guess that's where I fall through the cracks, because I don't want what everybody else has or what everybody else did. I want to do what I wanted to do, like I got even my Mercury, the 39 convertible. I keep hearing all this stuff about padded top. I go, man, why would people put a padded top on a convertible like that? Why didn't they cut the convertible down? And I didn't understand that, other than maybe it was too hot and they wanted a top up, because it's like I said, when the top's down on a convertible, the sun beats on you.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, I don't know. I did that one. I put a 6-inch chop on a radical chop convertible out of it, and it's kind of fallen through the cracks, but I don't care. I mean, I think that car's badass. That's why I kind of named it the Chicano Bentley, because I don't know. It just, to me, if they're not gonna like it, they're gonna know that it was a Mexican that did this, not nobody else.
Well, yeah, like I said, man, I get it. I get it. I totally fucking get it, man. At the end, I get it. I got 2 more questions for you, man, and I promised these people 30 minutes of your time, and I think I got it, man. The next question is, and this is from another Instagram that follows you, a follower. What is your most favorite car that your two hands have laid on, as far as work wise?
That'd be my 40 DeSoto.
Your 40 DeSoto.
Yeah.
That's it, huh? There's no
Yeah.
there's no customary car. It's like it's yours. That's the best that you've ever, your favorite.
Well, to me, I had this one guy ask me that what is my favorite cars, and I told him mine. He goes, "That sounds pretty selfish." I go, "No, not really, dude. You don't understand." I pour out my heart and soul into these cars, and that car right there is like, to me, it's timeless. Every time I look at it, like I said, it's put away in storage. I pull it out, and I'm like, oh, wow, I own this car. I mean, it does that to me. It gives me that wow factor. See, people don't understand that, but see, like I said, I wanted a 40 Merc. I couldn't afford one. I bought that car for $1,000 and put everything I had into it. And to be honest with you, I got $5,000 in that car.
Nice.
Period. And it's I mean, like I said, I told you earlier, I won in 2015. I won the best early custom at the Roadster show with that car, and I never dreamed that I would even win that show.
Wow. Yeah.
That day when I had it over there, and it was in the show, and I go, I ain't gonna win nothing. I'm just gonna go. I went downtown to LA, and I bought a bunch of ponchos with the Aztec calendar on it, and I parked and I laid them all out, and I put the car over there. I go, I'm just gonna represent. Hell with it, and that's what I did, and I ended up winning. I couldn't believe it.
That's awesome, man. I mean, that's a real cool thing. I love hearing that, and I mean,
yeah, that's a dream come true, man. Literally, because you know what? When I won, I literally was jumping for joy by myself, going to my truck to get my truck and trailer, and I was so happy, thanking God
nice.
that He made it happen.
Yeah, nice.
Because you know what? It's ultimately him that did that. Because there was people telling me, that's a piece of shit. Let's see what it does. It ain't gonna do nothing. Who in the hell does that kind of stuff? And I'm like, hey man, you got to do your homework. Harry Westergaard did it.
Nice. Yeah, it's kind of like how I felt last year. I took my Gold Roadster to L.A. and when I pulled the Rumblers trophy out of the Suede Palace, I wasn't expecting that. And I drove the fucking car over there. And I drove it home. I didn't even have a trailer. I don't own a trailer, man. So, I felt like that too. I felt like I was on top of the world, So I can only imagine how you felt taking the Grand National, trophy. I mean, man, good for you, man. Props to you, for real.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Like I said, I think dreams do come true, man. Every once in a while, I say it this way. Every once in a while, a poor motherfucker gets lucky.
I like that. Yeah.
I'm not going to say that I'm a badass. I'm not. You know what? Cocky's out the door when it comes to this kind of stuff, because you know what? I see youngsters now that are coming up, and man, they're doing some beautiful work, and so there's no reason for me to say, I've never reached it yet. I'm never going to reach it because I'm still honing my skills. I'm still learning. I'm still trying to be innovative, and that's it, man. It's just a passion. A lot of guys, they want to get, I could do this and I could do that. Me, I can't do shit, man. All I do is I work. That's what it comes down to. But that's why I always said, for the love of the game, because that's what it is. It's just for the love of the game, the passion to do this stuff, and if I could inspire people for them to do it, man, that's even better, man. That's where the true reward is, right there. In guys like you interviewing me, telling me how much you admire my work. And man, if I could inspire you, shoot, that's rewarding to me.
Why do you think I'm interviewing you? Because I think, in my eyes, I could care less about anybody else, but in my eyes, You caught my attention. I admire your work. Not only are you Mexican American, Chicano, whatever you want to call it, I'm the same as you. I drive a hot rod. I get pulled over for driving a hot rod. I'm not getting political and all in any way, shape, or form, but I get it. And I'm inspired by you. And that's why you're one of the people that I just wanted to interview. I love it, and I appreciate everything that you've all the work that you've done. Those 45 cars that you knocked out, believe me, I'm a fan. So whether people want to give you the credit that you deserve for the cars that you've done or not, um, you know, the truth is there, so there's nothing you can hide about it.
That's the beauty of Instagram. See, before you couldn't, I don't know how to say it even nicely. I mean, before all this,
just say
before Instagram, there was a lot of cock blocking going on. I'll have to just say it that way. But now that Instagram's out there and you could throw your stuff out, you don't need a magazine. That's why I don't even put my stuff in magazines. I got it right here. It's out there. I mean, and that's why I even changed my name from a K to a C, because, K represents Barris Customs. He was into customs. But then you see all you see in all those magazines is his stuff. But you know what? There was Ayala Brothers out there. There was a lot of people out there that had some badass shit that never made it. And you know what? I've been going to Paso ever since like the mid 80s all the way until the end, until it stopped in 07. And dude, I literally seen so many beautiful customs just come and go and never got any kind of recognition. They were gone. I mean, gone. I couldn't believe it, man. It was everybody always wanting the same old shit, same everything, same this, same that. And man, I couldn't believe it. And it was discouraging, but at the same, that's what, like I said, when I did that 53 Nash, it taught me a lesson. The trophy isn't in how you're going to win. The trophy is driving the car. That's the trophy. So then it just inspired me just to keep going and just keep honing my skills, because this custom me, we're only a chosen few. No matter who we are, we could be red, black, white, Japanese, or whatever. We're only the chosen few that like these custom cars. Not everybody likes them. So hey, let's do this. You know what I mean?
Oh, I get it, man. I get it. I mean, I love the fact that there's still people out there that are into it. There's still people out there, and I hope if you're out there and you're listening to this YouTube / podcast on Monday morning and you're at work doing your 9 to 5 or your 5 to 6, 5 to 6, or you're working those 2 hours of overtime to save up to buy that welder, I just want you guys to know that we're regular people, and I punch into that clock and I punch out of that clock, and then I come home and I build this stuff and I weld and I do this and I lead and I do, but there's other people out here just like Paul, and this is great. I love this, man. I love this. This is very motivating. So I got one more question for you, Paul, and then I'm gonna go ahead and let you go. And then if you got anything, well, actually, before this question is asked, do you have any information for your new shop location, or how does somebody get a hold of you, to reach out to you to get a chop done or some work done? How does somebody get a hold of you? Do you have a new shop location or anything like that?
Well, like I told you earlier, I'm still looking for a shop, but I still do work. My number is on my Instagram. Anybody need any help? You don't even have to necessarily want have me chop anything. I've given out information to people. Guys have called me over the past and asked me pointers and stuff. So, you know, whatever I can do to help anybody, I will do it. It's not a big deal.
That's awesome.
And, you know, as far as like I said, the shop, I'll find a shop, but it hasn't slowed me down. I mean, you know, I was down for a couple months, but I'm getting back up on my feet. And when I get a shop, you'll know, because I'll post it on my Instagram. But as far as everything else goes, I'm still the chopping fool, and I'm still gonna keep chopping.
There you go, man. Those are the last words from Custom Paul Cepeda. You know what? I think I got a 54 Chevy that I might just take down, bring it down from Arizona down to your location. It was my girlfriend's. She started chopping it, and she got a heat stroke. And well, you know, I don't have a fancy garage or anything like that, so out here in Arizona, it hits 127 or whatnot, and I feel bad because I kind of pushed her. I mean, I was pushing her. I mean, as far as like, you know, she started doing all the bridge work on some 56 Packard taillights, and I was like, nope. This is how you're gonna do it. This is how you're gonna do it. This is how you do it. And I kind of pushed her too hard, and so we took the top off. I told her, I said, okay, well, you got to brace this car up, and you got to do it like this. You got to do it like that. And you know what? She got a heat stroke. She never finished it. I've got the car just sitting here. Maybe I'll just take it down to you, man. I mean, I would love, I feel comfortable enough to finish it up, but I mean, it's like sometimes I don't have, to be able to say that I have a car done from you would be, that's worth more than gold, man. I mean, it's just like people collect Barris cars, people collect Winfield cars, people collect, all these famous people, and in my book, you're one of them. So,
Thanks, man.
Yeah, no.
I call it whack and tack. If guys don't, I try to make it affordable. Like I said, I'll cut a car. I mean, some guys ask me, hey, what's going to cost me to chop your car? I just want it chopped. You mean, well, how do you want it chopped? You want me to chop it and tack it, and you're going to weld it? And they'll say, yeah. So I said, okay, well, that's probably about $1,500.
There you go.
I go, yeah. I go, and if you want me to weld it, there's like $25, $30,000. You want me to do the body work? You want me to do all the glass? I go, I usually start like around $5-6 grand. But if they can't afford it, then if you do body, because I just did a 54 for a guy. He's in the Cavaliers, and he just wanted me to chop it and to leave it all welded. So I did that. I charged him like $3,500, but I also put a 48 Chevy back window in it because it looked better, and it came out pretty good. He's supposed to have it over there at the Suede Palace, I think, in 2 weeks.
Oh, nice.
So it's kind of like a powder blue, and he's from the Cavaliers.
Well, nice.
The tattoo artist gets up and somewhere.
Well, there you go. I mean, shoot, I swear, guys, I didn't even bring that up. I didn't even plan that, conversation. But like I said, when you're listening to this podcast, it's like two guys talking, and you're the fly on the wall. So, and I'm not afraid to say, Martha, she's a 5'4", chick, so, and she does all her own welding and everything. And I taught her how to weld. I taught her how to lead. And she just got heat stroke. I think I pushed her too hard. So there we go. Whack and tack. I like that. I'm probably gonna take you up on that offer. Well, before I end this interview, first of all, guys, I've had some great interviews, and I'm kind of giddy on this one. I'm still sick, but at the same time, like I said, I'm sorry, guys, for holding off on this interview so long, but like I was just sick with the flu, and like I said, Merry Christmas, guys. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you, Mr. Paul. And if you see me I'll be in the Suede Palace this year. I'll be in the Suede Pillows. This will be my last year there with my gold roadster, and then maybe I'll bring something new. I've got one more question for you, and then we'll leave it at that. So,
Okay.
it's kind of a funny question. So, I feel actually weird asking you this question because, it's funny, but I've had everybody else. I've asked everybody, but now I'm gonna change this up a little bit because I learned a little bit from you. So the question is, who would you murder, who would you fuck, and who would you kill? So it's kind of like back in the days when you talk about chicks and shit like that. Oh man, that's a hot chick, but who would you fuck? Who would you murder? Who would you kill? Um, so I'm gonna go ahead and change it up. I usually always ask Barris, Hines, Winfield, or Watson, but I got the flavor of you a little bit, so I'm gonna ask this way: the Ayala brothers, Harry Westergaard, or Bill Hines? Who would you marry? Who would you fuck? And who would you kill?
Are you kidding me?
I'm not. And I had to I'm literally drinking a beer as I was getting prepared for this question because I got a lot of respect for you.
You're talking about out of those three?
Out of those three, yeah, Ayala brothers.
No, I mean
Harry Westergaard.
Like I said, I have high respect for all those guys. I mean, Bill Hines was a good friend of mine. Yeah, he had selective hearing. He only wanted to hear what he wanted to hear, but he really fell in love with my little Studebaker, and I mean, he was a nice guy. The Ayalas, like I said, I have nothing but respect for them because I know the odds that they were up against, just like I am. I mean, I'm not comparing myself with them at all, by no means, but I know what opposition was there, so they have my utmost respect, and I wish they were still around to see, how passionate that they have made us because of their work. And Harry Westergaard, my hat goes off to him. He was, to me, probably the baddest 30s/40s style restyle customizer that I ever seen. I mean, he did some beautiful work, and my hat goes off to him. So I really can't say anything other than those guys are probably way up there. I mean, there's nothing I could say bad or nothing I could screw and have, because I'm not like that.
I had to do it, man. I had to ask because there's people that they were wondering. So I guess you're gonna marry all three of them, right?
No, I'm not gonna marry them all. I'm not gonna marry nobody. I'm just telling you that they're real high up there in my book of inspiration.
Fair enough.
And hey, those are like what I would say the dons of customizing. Those guys were, like I said, they're the dons.
Fair enough.
Straight up.
Fair enough. I guys, I had to ask it whether you guys. I know you guys, the people that subscribe, they know that that's the question I ask, and there you go. You got it. You got the answer from Paul Sabseda. Paul, thank you with my utmost respect. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you, answering the questions for the people off of Instagram. I mean, thank you. Thank you very much. If I meet you at Grand National, that's awesome. I don't know if you're a drinker or if you drink beer or whatnot, but I would love to buy you a beer and, just be able to talk to you face to face. I will be in Los Angeles, guys, for the Grand National Roadster Show. Please don't be a stranger. That's why I do this Instagram, is so that you don't think that people are, don't be afraid to be able to talk to somebody, guys, because on the internet, I think it's making us a lot more, like, like button, like button, like button, like button, block that guy, like button, like button. And that's not what I want, guys. You know, we need malls out there for high school kids. So, you know, this internet is, it's a great thing, man. The internet is a great thing, but it's also a horrible thing. It's losing our social skills with people. We're losing it, guys. So, you know, let your kids play outside, man. You know, go have fun with them, go play with them, go ride go-karts, let them ride bikes, let them go to the mall. If you're out in the garage, let them be out there, man. But this is for the future, guys. And, you know, we need to be able to talk to people. So I'm going on my rant, and I'm sorry. I'm going on
Hey,
my.
let me add something to that.
Sure, go for it, man.
Can I add something to that?
Absolutely.
Okay, back in Paso days, there was no Instagram, none of this stuff. Every year we would go to see what we did to our cars. That was the coolest part of the whole thing about Paso. We did that. Everybody would come together. We were all happy to see each other. Now with Instagram and everything, oh, it's that guy. Oh, fuck. That's the attitude that we've gotten now with this Instagram. Instead of just thinking about, hey man, we're putting it out there, and it's not about us. It's always about the cars. Period. That's all it'll always be for me. Is about the cars. Well, that's all I wanted to say.
Well, there you go, man. You know, Paul, it's about the cars. It's not about this Instagram shit. It's I frown. You know, it's a great thing. Instagram has made me a lot of money because it gave me an outreach as far as selling car parts and whatnot. But at the same time, guys, don't be afraid to fucking talk to somebody when you see them at the car show. Because that's, I mean, I'm pretty sure Paul would love for somebody to just go up to him and be like, hey, are you Custom Paul? Damn, you inspired me. Damn, you inspired me. And I'm pretty sure Paul's not going to say, hey, man, get the fuck out of here. So, you know, I don't know who you are. Get out of here. Hopefully not. But anyways.
No, I'm not like that.
Well, guys, thank you so much. Please support, you know, Grand National Roadster Show. Please, if you guys got to get a chop done or something like that, or any kind of work or any kind of pointers, it seems like Paul is a really nice person, and he will reach out and, you know, talk to somebody, you know, because he's got experience. He's done it. He does beautiful work. So, and I think I'm going to take him up on that. So, guys, thank you so much. I apologize for not having this YouTube / podcast out earlier. I was sick. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year's, guys. And thank you very much, Paul. I will reach out to you after we're done here. So thank you very much, guys. And see you guys at Grand National.